Hey guys, I came across the Drevo Blademaster TE recently and it piqued my curiosity, mostly the knob on the side and the advanced RGB lighting. So I contacted Drevo to ask them if they'd send one over, and they did. So here we are today with my review on this keyboard. Let's see what it's all about. I received the keyboard in a nicely branded box. In it there was the keyboard, well protected under a plastic cover, and a keycap puller. I really like how well it was packaged, and I even know someone who would also argue that the box makes the perfect bed. So, as I just mentioned, this keyboard has a special knob on the side. It's entirely programmable and you can set up to 4 different functions with up, down, single click, and double click. It's a really interesting concept that's quite different from your typical multimedia volume control rolling bar. For my usage, I like to have volume controls, but you could also remap it for in-game controls like switching weapons or something like that. By default, it scrolls through your light presets and lets you turn on and off the key lights and the side lights with the clicks, which is also pretty cool. Speaking of light, this keyboard is really unique with the added light bars. They have multiple LEDs in there, so you can have animations and cool effects in these light bars as well. If you like RGB, I really feel like this is a great implementation. It adds a lot of light that's highly customizable, so you can really have it your way. Both the dial and the lights are controlled via the Drevo Power Console, which is a cloud-synced software that Drevo developed for some of their peripherals. You'll have to create an account, but this allows you to save your keyboard profile in the cloud so you can retrieve all your settings and macros across your computers. It's also really useful if you buy a new computer or after a reformat. With this software, you can remap keys to your likings, although there are limitations like you can't remap the function key to another key, but for most use cases, it works great. Then you can change the knob's behavior. A bit like remapping the keys, you can pretty much change it to whatever you like. But here's where I had a few problems. The remappings are not always applied, or sometimes they just respond in a weird way. At first, I set the knob to control my volume, but sometimes it would make the volume go up in both directions, resulting in super high volume as you try to bring it down. And the play, pause, and mute buttons didn't work when assigned to knob clicks. It seemed to be a bit better after I created my own profile, but still some of this stuff didn't work, although it worked perfectly for volume now. So keep in mind that you might not be able to set it exactly to what you like, and you might have to fiddle a bit with the software to get it working the way you want it. There are also a few presets built in the keyboard for the knob, and these are accessible with the function key combined with other keys, and these seem to work pretty good. The software also lets you control the lights, and there's a lot of predefined animations and effects which look great. You can set the speed and brightness on most animations as well as the colors. And with the custom mode, you can also set the exact color of each key, but also every light bars on each side, which I thought was pretty cool. In the lighting department, I think the software is really complete. And finally, you can set a few settings like a gaming mode, which can disable a few keys and key combos. And you can also change the report rate, which I don't see why you'd want to select a lower one on a wired keyboard, but hey, it's there if you wish. And I tried the minimum and max settings, and I couldn't feel the difference for typing. Now we'll go over the physical build of this keyboard. It's mostly plastic, but the plate feels like metal. The case looks really good and all the parts fit perfectly flush, which I can appreciate. The sides are plastic and the knob too. Under the keyboard you will find dip switches that lets you change the basic layout of the keyboard to other standards like Dvorak or Minimac. You also get flip-out feet, which I felt a bit excessive for my taste. The keyboard already has a decent angle as it is, so with the legs it's quite steep, but it really depends on what you like. You'll also notice that the cable is not removable and it's not braided either, which is an area where they cut the cost with this board. Typing on this keyboard is pretty awesome. The unit I have has Gateron browns installed, but it's also available with blacks, blues, and reds. I like that they use Gaterons instead of cheaper switches. They feel real nice, although they are barely tactile compared to Kale browns or cherry browns, so they would be really great for gaming. To give you an idea, here's a sound test. The stabilizers are also pretty good, they don't rattle too much and the keycaps go down straight. They're also Cherry MX compatible, so you could replace the keycaps for something else. This Drevo Blademaster T also respects perfectly the NC layout, so you could easily replace the keycaps with third-party sets without incompatibility issues. As for the keycaps, these are ABS, which is not really desirable, but that's what most of these keyboards competitors come with anyway. And they are laser etched, which is not too bad, but you can expect them to wear over time and show a bit of shining. But as I said, you could replace them with cheap PBT caps, so that's not too big of a deal. So that brings me to the pros and cons with this keyboard. Some of the notable aspects are the cloud sync software, which we only normally see with big brand keyboards like Razer or Corsair. It's highly customizable both in terms of remapping and LED lights. The side knob can be really useful for multimedia, zooming in and out, etc. The build quality is really good and the materials used are great considering the price. And the typing experience is enjoyable with decent switches and stabilizers. On the other hand, it has a few cons, like the fact that the side knob is a bit hard to reprogram and it doesn't always work perfectly. It's not completely useless, but it might be a bit limited depending on how well it reacts to your profile. Pretty sure this is a software issue though, so that could be solved in the near future. The keycaps are ABS and they will wear faster over time compared to PBT. The knob has no rubber grip, which would help you turning it around more easily. The USB cable is not detachable, so you can't replace it if it breaks or if you want a shorter one, as an example. And finally, there are no audio pass-through or USB hub like some of the competitors have. Again, Drevo also offers the Blademaster Pro, which has a metal side knob, genuine Cherry MX switches and stabilizers, a removable USB Type-C cable, and it can also connect wirelessly over Bluetooth or with a dongle, so that would fix some of the cons I just mentioned. So in conclusion, I was really impressed with this keyboard. It's really different from what I review normally. I typically look at niche 60% keyboards, while this is targeted at a really broader audience. But I can still enjoy using this keyboard as it is. It's a great alternative to keyboards by Corsair, Razer, or Logitech, as it shares most of the same features like cloud sync software, good build quality, extensive RGB control, and an aluminum backplate. And all of that for a lot less money than what these brands are asking for pretty much the same features. Let me know what you think about this board. Is this something you would get for yourself? What would you change about it? And I'll have links down below if you want to check out this keyboard for yourself. So as always, thank you for watching. Make sure you like the video if you did, and if you didn't, just let me know why in the comments below. Otherwise, don't forget to subscribe if you still haven't already, as I'll see you in the next video.